Feral Audio.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 21 of The Adventures of Danny and Mike. To my right, Mr. Danny Tamborelli. Look at him. Look at him shine. And to his right, Mr. Michael C. Morona. Look at that shirt. You can buy that at the booth.
The C is for classy.
Why are you sitting so far away from us, Michael?
It's
Not very nice.
I wanted to emphasize the space.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah.
I see a lot of our fans came dressed as their favorite thing, empty chairs.
Oh.
But to the ones who are here, your dedication is what matters, especially you, Dame Edna.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we wouldn't do the podcast. If they had offered us to do the podcast and they told us, you're going to have a room with nobody in it, we would have said, no way. But because there were people in it, we said, yes. We look forward to this.
I think that was in the signed contract, actually.
It was, right?
Yeah.
I have to sign that and give it to Regina.
Well, things you don't... We're not always prepared. Like, you're supposed to sign a contract before you get here, Mike. You might not get what you came for.
there was like... Something was wrong with the fax machine. I think it was a joke fax from Back to the Future. It was jamming up my fax machine.
Do people still use fax machines?
Now they're digital, I think. Now you do them online, right?
It's not
Digital
about
faxes.
like 90s nostalgia using fax machines. They're not using faxes ironically. They're actually faxing things for a purpose.
I used to be that kid that went into auditions with my parents had a fax machine that was like, it had a roll of paper. So I would be the kid in there, like everyone else had these nice, like, straight sheets of paper. Mine were all like curled. I was like trying to get them straight, like crumpling them up. It's like, I'm never going to get this part. Damn it.
And your sides were always shiny.
Yeah, they're way shiny. You couldn't like write.
Thermal
You couldn't
transfer
use.
paper.
You couldn't use regular like big pens on them. You had to use Sharpie markers because nothing would stick to them except the ink that was in the fax machine.
Yeah, so what was left over was used for leftovers, actually, as I recall. They used the fax paper to wrap up leftovers because it was impermeable.
So, Mike, you made a pretty nice observation about how difficult it might be to write a Craigslist missed connections ad at Comikaze because
Because
a lot of people
what
are
would you
cosplayers.
say? I was the guy made of wood.
Well, that guy, you could find that guy. Have you guys seen that? The dude who's walking around in a suit
wooden
made of
robot.
wood?
Okay, so I was the wooden robot.
Check it out, guys.
You were
Open
the-
your eyes.
You were the girl with the squirrel tail.
Yeah.
Or you were the rainbow ninja.
I know. It's more like I was Harley Quinn and you were Dick Tracy. And I've seen, there's a bunch of them. I was the taller Dick Tracy, the one with the proper color scheme on.
You're going to have to come up with modifiers for everything. I was the handsomest Dick Tracy. You were the demurest Elektra. The most demure Elektra of them all. Didn't even know she was a ninja. That's how demure she was. Yeah, I think it's difficult because you got to think about the permutations. Like you could write a math program to match every single Dick Tracy with every single Mumbles in this hallway. It would look like that. More detailed than that. But for the listener, I'm nodding my hands together in a mesh way.
That's exactly what you're doing. You're so descriptive.
I just
Just know how to.
I feel like everyone should be required at Comic-Cons to have those little gems like the Sims over their heads identifying who they are. And don't make me do the guessing game because I don't want to insult you. I don't. I mean, you, Dame Edna, I could never because you're everything. But also I know who you are from the character. Other people I don't want to insult. Like if I thought Zombie Goku was just like a kid who got beat up on the way here.
Oh.
He could have been a kid
That
who was
might
just...
have happened, too, guys.
He might have just been here on his way.
Downtown L.A.
It is downtown L.A. I had a guy try to start shit with me yesterday, and I wasn't even dressed as anything. I guess I was dressed as a Met fan.
What happened?
I'm just walking on Figueroa, and a guy tried to walk into me. I was walking next to my friend Vin. You know Vin.
I do know Vin, yeah.
So
Mets fan, Vin.
Yeah.
you can ask him if you think I'm lying about this.
We were very obnoxious New York Met fans in a bar in L.A. yesterday.
God, we were the worst.
His friend has the loudest hard clap I've ever heard in my life. My ear is still ringing. And I play bass in a band with a really loud drummer, and it was louder than that.
So that means something.
And you know it's not the worst part because I get it because he's really excited about baseball. Is that he's the dude that claps 20 to 25 seconds after everyone else has stopped clapping, and he's still doing it.
We gave him several
loud
chances.
And hard and proud.
We gave him all kinds of chances, and I did those sort of like take away from you claps, where you're sort of like somebody has like a real solid rhythm going, and then you sort of clap like right off of that to sort of derail. It's like a derailing clap, but I was still celebrating.
That's not cool.
I was celebrating too. I was just wanted to derail the loudness of his celebration a little, which is horrible because Vin's my best friend.
You just keep going. You just get a little quieter, hoping that he's gonna stop. And it's
or
loud as hell.
No, or you do the air one. You do the air one right at the end. It's all we all know what we're talking about because we know about being enthusiastic for things. Like you would go not just for sports things, but it was there like some sort of comic book or movie character you were super excited to see today?
Today?
Yeah. Okay. Any day this week. Any day this week.
Yeah.
Any day this
Doesn't
have to be today.
Well, I was actually, speaking of Dick Tracy.
Which we weren't.
Oh, sorry. No, the guy that came here 2 years ago, I saw. And I thought that it might be awkward that last year he was in a different costume and, maybe forgot that we were coming or forgot anything. I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to change it up this year. I'm going to be Dick Tracy. And then we caught him in the same Dick Tracy outfit that he was in 2 years ago. And it was confusing for me.
Hadn't washed it.
He smelled exactly the same. He did.
We're excited about seeing our favorite movies from when we were kids get completely stretched out to be unrecognizable and re-edited and stuff, and this to get money from us again as opposed to getting our parents' money way back then. I wore out all those videotapes of the first 3 Star Wars.
This is a Universal licensed hoverboard.
Right.
That's what I remember most.
Oh, from the kid?
Yeah, one of the many Marty McFlys here.
Yeah, we saw some good Marty McFlys here. That guy who had the super baggy jacket was getting it done. It was like before the straps do the thing.
Yeah, when they're all, I get it.
That's it? That's the only guy
you all have them. I think every one of those Marty McFlys has exactly the same jacket that they bought from the same store down the street.
From here?
Yeah. It's called Back to the Future store.
This comes into one of our $1 billion ideas. We don't just have $1 million ideas on this podcast. We have $1 billion ideas. The $1 billion
and they never get funded, but they are $1 billion ideas.
What?
Do you want to recap the other ones?
Well, just because nobody's realized my vision for underwater Our Town yet doesn't mean that it won't happen.
That's not $1 billion idea.
It will be if someone puts money behind it.
Wait, Nutella Pop-Tarts was $1 billion idea, right?
It was, and I think that's happening somewhere in Portland.
But not by the Pop-Tart brand.
No.
Yeah.
No, they're homemade. So this $1 billion idea was for the con, but also just in general. And I'm from New York, but also down in LA, like an anime wig truck, like a food truck, but with anime wigs. So if you were on your way to a con and you didn't have the right one, like I need something that starts as a star, but then goes back as a comet back here. And they would say, yes, we have that. We have it in metallic. We have it in red. We have it in sunfire. We have it in jet
green?
black.
No, not green.
No, but there's a guy down the block. If you can buy it off of him. I thought that an mobile anime, you would get a food truck, but then rip all the stuff out of it, but it would still be chrome inside, so it would be cool. And then hang a lot of mannequin heads in there, and then just stick anime.
I just learned that that's something that Michael C. Morona thinks is cool.
I think
it's chrome, dude. It's cool.
I think chrome is cool. It's not my favorite browser. It's not my favorite building material, but I feel that these chrome chairs look good. Chrome in general.
He's a chrome guy, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not a product of the Southern California car culture. But
I was gonna say you'd fit in real well. You got to get yourself a nice roadster.
Maybe something from the 30s.
Yeah.
Something like Dick Tracy.
Oh, wow.
Something Dick Tracy would drive?
Tracy.
Okay, so now I have to talk about Georgie Harrington because I've talked about all the other guys I work with. He's a father of an electrician I work with, and in the union, if you have the same last name as your father, which happens a lot, it's pretty easy to get a union card. George, his dad, is just obsessed with World War II, and will talk about guns and war as much as he can. But when you look at him and you look at his face, you realize that he actually looks like the Dick Tracy villain Mumbles.
Big boy did it.
It's like
Big boy did it.
yeah, and it's really that. What's the definition of irony when that guy looks like Mumbles but he's loud? Isn't that what it says in the dictionary?
Reverse mumbles.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, George could talk your face off until you look like No Face, which is another Dick Tracy villain. He looks like this. Isn't that his name? No Face.
No Face. Oh yeah, I don't want to give away the spoiler alert to Dick Tracy.
I don't know who here was
was a
alive when Dick
lady.
Tracy came out.
It was Madonna.
She was No Face.
Yeah. Right.
Really?
Don't question me, Michael. Come on. I was more of a kid during that time watching that movie than you were.
Yes, you were more given to wearing bright banana yellow like Dick Tracy.
It's true.
But
Definitely a Halloween costume.
No Face, really? I'm just making that up.
Gosh. Got to get with it, bro.
I'm gonna get with it.
Do you have any fun stories to tell about getting burnt or hurt at work? I like hurt at work stories.
I think we should have.
Have
a
you
theme
been
song.
hurt at
Yeah.
work?
Yeah, Dan is
How
actually.
many days has it been since your last injury, Mike?
Dan is my
reset the
personal
clock.
injury lawyer. What have I done at work lately that hurt? Nah, we've been out for a while. All my injuries have healed.
J-Lo doesn't hurt you? She doesn't.
She hurts me every time she looks at me. She wounds me. I think I barked my shin a few months ago. I'm not going to give you guys the details because the swelling is down now. So
Why is the swelling down? Because you asked me to drain it.
I healed.
What?
Sorry.
You don't like that? This is a
Visual.
bad,
The
bad
visual of
visual
you draining something of Mike's is kind of disgusting. And it doesn't matter what it is.
Why? Statistically, he's going to outlive me. He may have to care for me in my final years.
Where do you get your statistics?
Same place anybody does, a statistics
The
store.
internet?
The government is not going to take care of me. I'm going to need my fake brother to take care of me. It's not like either of us are getting married to each other.
to each other. That would be,
You're rooting for that, right?
if we had
No?
if I had the right reproductive organs, we'd make beautiful children. You and me.
You wouldn't believe how many times I've heard that.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest,
Bring him up.
Yes.
Yuri Lowenthal.
Lowenthal.
Come on up. Give him a round of applause.
Hey.
Yuri Lowenthal sporting a correct set of organs. How are you?
Good.
I was psyched.
Boy, you came in at the right time. We were going down a weird path, man.
Man, I hope it keeps going. I hope it keeps going in that direction because that's where I live.
If only he could have come in from a side door right after it got really creepy. But he had time to come up from the back. And
Right. Even creepier.
I was psyched to see that Yuri was our neighbor at booth 17 something.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
17, 19.
We're
right across the
adjacent to
street.
each other.
Yeah. And
We're in the same neighborhood.
Zombie Goku was waiting for you for a while, man.
Yeah,
Do you
that
want-
was creepy. You saw that, didn't you?
I saw him like before I saw you. He
Yeah,
was,
crossover cosplay is the weirdest cosplay. Because basically I usually don't already know what it is to start with, and then you cross it over and it becomes 1,000 times more difficult to know.
I saw a Joker Ghostbuster today. That was,
Wow.
Yeah, probably the best crossover
I mean,
because
do you
he
think-
had like the
He's
he
the
had
joke
ghost-
buster. He comes
had the
into every
Ghostbusters.
comedy show and is like, "Hey, that's a terrible joke, sir." Wow. I've got a joke for you. And he flips him a card with a good joke on it and walks out. And then the card explodes and his head blows up. And then that's the end of it. He's one comedian at a time. He's taking care of business.
Holy crap. I mean, do you think there should be rules about what you're allowed to cross over?
My
Or-
favorite crossover from Comikaze of 2 years ago was Dragon Ball Z Homer.
Wow.
That's a good one.
And
I like
he was
it.
holding a Dragon Ball that was composed of pink Homer donuts.
So
it was most gorgeous.
So it was like Kamehame Homer. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here for at least the rest of.
Oh, damn. Here comes the joke buster. Damn it.
Oh, he said, run!
Throw yourself at his combo costume.
Man.
Yeah, no, but cosplay is always my favorite part of coming to these shows.
You find people are wearing costumes of characters that you portrayed or
Sometimes,
that you voiced?
Yeah, sometimes yes. I just love the craft that goes into some of it, and if not craft, because sometimes it's a horribly made costume, but you can tell that there's a lot of love in it.
Yeah.
And I prefer to see that over something that they clearly bought somewhere. But
That is the Party City Goku. Get out of here.
right, exactly.
What about like a mobile, anime wig vendor?
Okay.
That wouldn't be.
Yuri
that wouldn't be the
wasn't
worst.
that one.
You're gonna make $1 million.
Yuri was listening.
He wants to add 4 zeros to that to make it $1 billion.
Right. Okay.
We'll extrapolate.
Yeah,
Right.
you got to start somewhere.
I can see that happening.
Yes, homemade Halloween costumes was the order of the day as a kid, and I definitely, that sticks with you all the way through cosplay. I think you go in the right direction.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. My mom used to make me costumes of my favorite, because I grew up reading comic books and watching cartoons, and so my mom would make me. I remember she made a Flash costume for me growing up. She made a Batman costume for me. She made a Captain America costume for me. And then when I got sort of bored of that, I started cross-playing. Is that what they call it?
Now they do,
Now
but
it is
they
now.
couldn't
Because if they
identify
don't-
it. Okay,
It's it.
Cross-playing.
you started
Now
combo
trademarked by Yuri Lowenthal.
Right.
combo
thank you.
crossplay.
Right.
You did like-
I was Captain Bat. Like I would wear some of the Captain America.
the shield
So,
and-
yeah, but I'd have the cowl, the Batman cowl on, and I was Captain Bat, which, of course, wasn't any kind of superhero.
That's
but,
awesome.
But he
Yeah,
was
but then
then.
you became your own superhero. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Exactly. I can't believe nobody's come up with cross-playing before. I can't be the first person.
You just
to.
coined that phrase, man. Wow. We like to
you guys heard it
make
here
up new
first.
words. Didn't we make up another word in one of those episodes?
I don't know. I don't make up words.
Okay.
Sorry.
just
I
work-
use the dictionary.
You work with the ones we already have.
I'm the college graduate of the bunch in our podcast. So
I'm sure Yuri's also gone
no,
some
I
education.
wasn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. Did
Oh,
you
he
go to
meant like-
college?
I thought you
He
were
meant here.
assuming. I thought you were assuming that I'd gone to college, which was that's a leap.
I assumed he knew. He, I guess, didn't read your IMDb last night and late last night, and
Is like one of you the research guy and one of you like the color commentator?
neither.
Okay.
No, we just everybody
No,
speaks, and
don't
then
believe in
sometimes
research.
Jeremy maybe
It's
speaks.
bullshitter
and then,
one,
bullshitter
bullshitter two, and
two.
then dude behind Danny who is being blocked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, stay there. I'm kind of digging it. It's kind of like I'm in a cave.
apologize.
People
I
prefer
apologize.
that you stay right where you are.
Nice T-shirt. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It just came in.
Yeah, I
Are you-
do like
Are you
that.
plugging?
I did.
And I was going to comment on your T-shirt, and then I said your.
Thanks. Yeah, this is a pretty cool T-shirt too.
didn't-
Yours is a pretty cool God, guys, we all have cool T-shirts on.
It's man-
This guy's got a Mighty Ducks jersey on.
Turns out
which
we
is
affirm
sweet.
each other.
And an old school Minnesota North Stars hat. That.
Whoa.
Hey, thanks, man. Tommy Duncan keeping it alive.
Somebody's paying attention.
Did you lose interest in Halloween as you aged?
It's funny. I've gone through phases. It's always been my favorite time of year, regardless of whether or not I wanted to dress up. I think for a time when in my acting career, there was a time when I was like, I dress up all the time for work.
I need a break.
I don't want to dress up on Halloween. And then I threw that away, and now I like to do it again. But then I talk really big going into Halloween, like, I'm going to do all this stuff. And, and then it's like the night before Halloween, and I'm like, oh man, I should really start thinking about what I want to, go as for Halloween. Yeah, right, exactly. And I'm, taping trash bags together and trying to get like witty instead of putting time in. Like, that's a super meta if I just go as Yuri Lowenthal. That's, which is the worst. Never do that. People will hate you. But we're actually, tonight, my wife Tara and I, they're doing an adult lock-in at the Natural History Museum, not far from here.
What?
And I
Nice.
never did that as a kid. I don't know if anybody ever did that as a kid. You sort of like a field trip and
Yeah.
they lock you and you bring
get
your sleeping
separated
bag.
from your
In the state
class
of
trip.
in the state of New Jersey, it's mandatory.
Then you
for all
hide in
kids
a
to do that.
janitor's closet for 8 hours until the museum closes, and then
I
the whole
saw that
thing is
movie
yours.
with Ben Stiller. Right, yeah, okay. No. But they have this adult lock-in, and it's you get locked in a Natural History Museum, you bring your sleeping bags, you sleep under the dinosaur bones, and you drink booze. So it's
you guys
kind of
gonna-
a dream come true.
You going to be in costume tonight, or
And yeah, they said you should try to wear a costume. So we have these footy pajamas. She has a Batman footy pajama suit, and I have a Joker footy pajama suit, and that's
you'll naturally pair off?
exactly. So that's
really cool.
So that's what we're gonna do tonight. But I didn't dress up today because I couldn't beat anybody. Anybody pretty much who's dressing up for this show. I just like to watch.
Yeah, you saw the dude with the full wood suit.
That guy.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That guy was amazing.
Get out of here, people.
looks
Leave now and see
exhausted.
this man.
and see this guy.
Yeah.
He was sort of in this mech suit, but it was made of wood.
It was made of wood, and
pieces of wood.
he's walking at a very, very slow pace. Like,
Yeah,
it's got
to weigh about 8,000 pounds.
I'd like to say it's very fast for somebody who's made of wood.
That's true.
It's slow for a human, but compared, you know what I mean? Like, you know, when the trees get all pissed off in Lord of the Rings, and they're like, "Oh, I heard a tree die somewhere. Let's get over there." You know.
Have you ever seen, there's a great Christmas horror movie. It's a short film that was doing the circuit for a long time called Treevenge. And it's a horror movie about, and it starts off with the loggers going in, or, you know, Christmas tree sellers, and they go in there, they're cutting down, and they make them out to be these sort of, you know, villains. And then on the night of Christmas, when all these Christmas trees are in people's homes, they come alive and just start killing everyone. It's hilarious. I mean, it's like a 10-minute film. It's really well done. If you can find it, it's called Treevenge. I had nothing to do with it, but I push it whenever I can because it's amazing.
Sounds pretty.
It's based on a pagan holiday, right? Where we would cut down trees and then kill everybody.
kill everyone.
Yeah, kill everybody who saw them.
It sounds like that sounds like very pagan to do.
Yeah, like most religious things, it always ends in killing people. So.
Right. And then a 3-day party. I guess.
And a 3-day party. Right?
Everybody has day off till the new year.
Yeah. What are your plans for Halloween tonight? You guys already talk about? You already covered that today?
We didn't talk about it yet. Now, there's a couple
we have
things
two
going
options,
on.
yeah.
There's a
Three
couple options.
Danzig is performing.
Danzig is
Danzig?
performing?
Like right on the other side of this building.
Did your plans just change?
We're gonna cut a hole.
You can still
in a
wear the
natural
pajamas.
history museum.
Tara, they're going to have to lock you into the museum alone, apparently. I'm going
cutting
to
a
see Glenn
hole
Danzig.
in the museum
Joker
so
is
that
going to
Danzig can
Danzig.
play into the museum.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we can do? We'll just periscope it, and you
There you
can
go.
watch the feed
right.
from inside.
Right. Hey, honey, I got to go to the bathroom for a minute.
Yeah.
For 20
minutes to watch Glenn Danzig on my phone.
Hang on, guys. I'm pretty sure I can use my phase powers to just, you know, take the wall out of phase, and then you could hear the sound right through.
I knew I came here for a reason.
You know, in addition to being a great electrician, he's also an auditory genius.
I love it. Here's a little Glenn Danzig story. Not far from where I live, there was always this house that I would drive by, and it looked like the Munsters. Like it looked like a haunted house. Not in that somebody made it to look really cool like a haunted house. It was like dilapidated and falling apart, and looked like that scary old house that you grew up, you know, you had it in your neighborhood somewhere, and you're like, I know that guy eats children in there, the guy who lives there that I never see. And I finally found out it's Glenn Danzig's house. Isn't that perfect?
You were onto it.
Somewhat
That's what
accurate.
you want his house to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what his house is supposed to look like.
exactly.
He's also from New Jersey.
Real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Two strikes against.
Most good things, strangely enough, come from New Jersey.
Isn't that
Sorry,
weird?
Yuri.
I know. It's
Are you from
because there's a
Jersey?
lot
I'm
of
not-
people.
I'm not
It's
from
not
New
because
Jersey.
it's not because New Jersey's that cool. It's just because we're so densely populated that like
People can't wait to
statistically,
leave.
some cool people have to come
They
out
have to
of the
leave,
state.
right?
You're constantly fleeing
has
New
to
Jersey.
happen.
Yeah,
so-
you're forced out of New
Yeah.
Jersey to make a movie about it.
right, exactly. Exactly. Thanks, Kevin Smith.
Zach Braff.
Either one.
Either
Oh,
one.
yeah, okay, yeah,
They
actually
can
both.
both go. They're
Yeah.
they're interchangeable.
Jersey still claims
Someone
them, though.
has a larger vocabulary than the other. I think in terms of writing scripts.
It's a sailboat.
It's a schooner.
A sailboat is a schooner.
Boy.
You're a schooner.
This was our audition for Mallrats 20 years ago. Mike and I just sitting there.
We've worn a lot of black T-shirts in our day, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. So, I notice a lot of people here are wearing black T-shirts.
Black T-shirts are always cool.
They're
That's
always
never
in.
going to go out of style, right? Right?
For a
Right?
bigger guy
Right.
like me, it's always slimming.
I
You
hope
know?
not. We just bought a box of them, so let's hope they don't.
So let's
go
hope they don't go out of style
in
anytime
24
soon.
hours.
Yeah. No, they're still super cool.
What do you
particularly
mean?
ones with caricatures of our faces on them.
Okay.
Yeah. Where would one get one of those T-shirts?
For the
Well, I'm
listener,
glad you
for,
asked.
for the listener, you can go to DannyandMike.com, and for the audience, you can go to
the cardboard box underneath Jeremy's feet.
1716 or 1714. Yeah, the cardboard box underneath Jeremy's feet.
They might be here-ish. No, they're not here. 1714, ladies and gentlemen, right across from
right across
this
from
gentleman's
1719, where we have stuff too.
So, having voiced and portrayed so many different roles, do you ever run into something? You must run into something where somebody's cosplaying you, right?
Yeah, and that's always a really interesting situation because being a voice actor, usually people don't know what we look like. So I can I can do that thing where somebody's cosplaying a character that I played, and I can go, "Hey man, can I take a picture with you?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, man, whatever, you know." and I take my picture with them.
And then you blow their minds.
And then usually, it's depending on how I'm feeling that day. Okay. Sometimes I'll blow their minds. Usually, my wife will blow their mind for me, so I don't come off looking
she takes pity on them. She's like, "You don't know who you just."
That's what Jeremy does for us.
See, there you go.
Yeah. I'm not marrying Jeremy.
Jeremy's kind of like your wife.
It's such a maternal instinct that you have.
Whoa,
whoa, crossing lines up here.
If you kiss me, it'll be a step too far.
Deeper.
But it's usually a fun experience.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's always a fun experience. And, you can't help. It's not like I invented the character or designed the character, but it always ends up being flattering and cool to see somebody, in love with something that you had a part in doing. And sometimes I'll just walk away and I won't tell them. And I'll always wonder if somebody's showing that photo to somebody someday, and they're like,
eventually
"Did you
they figure it
realize?"
out.
Yeah. Or they'll find out. They'll be walking around later, and then they'll see our booth, or they'll see doing a signing, and then they'll come up and go,
You're Dickie Beer. You're Dickie Beer. You played the orc guard in Return of the Jedi.
Exactly.
Right? That's
exactly. That's who's at the
That's
table
our neighbor.
right next to you?
That's
Yeah,
our
that's our
actual
neighbor.
I was
direct neighbor.
Yeah, no, I saw. I was like, Dickie Beer. That's a ridiculous name, and I love it, but I don't know who that is. Yeah,
You didn't think about going with that. Yuri is your actual name, right?
Yuri is my actual name.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool unless you're a kid, and then it's just urine and urinal jokes your entire life.
Oh man.
Did you grow up in
Right.
America?
Yes, I grew up in I grew up in Nashville, and
You want to feel better about your name?
yeah. Well,
I had a song about me.
It was. Let me guess.
Oh.
Danny's a toilet.
No. Oh, you know what?
you got
You're
that too.
really close. You're really close. Wait.
Daniel.
No.
Daniel
Wait.
subscription
Okay.
to Poop
the
Magazine.
Devil and Daniel Webster.
No, that's
that would've been
I had
cool.
a whole song. It was a song, and it went like this. It went Dan the lavatory man, chief engineer of the public can. He cleans up the papers and he cleans up the towels and he listens to the rumble of the other people's bowels. Deep
Wow.
down underneath the ground, hear those turds go swishing around while the sound of gas is heard, followed by a steaming turd. I remember all of that because in fourth grade,
course
fifth
you do.
grade,
Yeah, that deserves
it was
a round of
it was
applause.
a
Burned into
nonstop
your-
burn. Yeah,
I did.
yeah, I
that
know.
Was the
Sorry,
peak.
guy, and it's okay. Don't feel bad. Look at me now.
Right?
Fourth, fifth, and sixth grade is definitely the peak of kid meanness. I
Oh,
think
man.
as far I did make up some mean songs in that time too, but mine were parodies.
you
mine
made
were
up
parodies.
ones?
Yeah, mine were parodies.
So you were the bully?
I could tell you were the bully.
No, I came in as a new.
He is. He's a complete bully.
yeah, I'm a
Don't
bully.
let him fool
the
you.
The shortest kid in school at the front of all the lines was the bully.
That's Glenn Danzig.
The redhead. The redhead was the bully. Never happened.
Never, never,
except in
ever.
Children of the Corn, right, Malachi?
Oh, that's true. Malachi. That's right.
Oh, come on.
Wow. Yeah, you get a lot. See, here's the thing.
Don't you think
Well,
Jeremy looks like Isaac?
You know, I don't want to get you.
Totally.
I don't want to
Totally.
get you crashed, but Mike stated earlier that sometimes he has to show, his pubes to make sure that everybody knows that
Everybody
he's
knows
a real
he's a
ginger.
re- he's a
because
real-
He's lost that
yeah,
full
it's gone a little-
orangey.
it's gone a little blonde.
Look to age, and I have
Strawberry-
too. I mean,
strawberry
I'm
blonde.
I'm not
Strawberry blonde.
total redhead now anymore either. But
Dame Edna, I said that in confidence, and I did not want it to be repeated in this panel. And you would understand that. Thank you, and you would understand just for everyone's discretion involved. We'd speak about it as little as possible.
Though, it doesn't matter what your name is growing up. Kids will be cruel. I mean, that's
They'll
the thing
find
that
a
I
way
came
make
to
fun.
realize.
Yeah, like Jeremy. What the heck
No,
does that
yeah,
mean?
you would think I'd get a lot of shit just for that name because I feel like that's like a bottom tier. Like,
But it was because of your physical appearance. It was not to do with your name at all.
No, I'm just saying, like, as far
why
as-
do you automatically assume that?
it's self-confidence issues. No. But I feel like that's a name where it's like Jeremy. You know what I mean? Like you get a lot of like those sarcastic. I didn't have any problems. I had a brain tumor when I was 10 years old, so I got the pity card. Nobody fucked with me.
so wow.
He
Nobody
really,
fucked with me at all.
skated
Yeah.
on that one, guy. So
Nobody.
He's trying to skate on it
he's
right
due
now.
for it
Okay,
now.
Jeremy, tell us about it.
No, he's due
Talk
for
mean to me. I had a tumor.
I've never been more jealous of somebody who had a brain tumor before in my life.
It comes with a card. Would you like one? Just tell them you had one.
You
Yeah.
just gotta throw it. I had a brain tumor. And they're just like, oh, sorry, man. I'll
He's
stop.
due.
Sir,
He's
do you
due
know why
now.
I pulled you over? Did you know I had a brain tumor?
By all means, drive on.
Hey, man, give me your wallet. Do you know
That'll
I
be
had a brain tumor? Okay, that's all right, you
$32.75.
can keep it.
I don't have any cash, but did you know that I had a tumor when I was 10? I would use it. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Right?
I haven't.
You seem to be
Yeah.
doing okay.
I tried the same thing with the ladies.
With the
and it's
ladies.
like,
How did I know it was going to go
hey,
there?
ladies, what's going on? Oh, I'm not into you, but I had a tumor. I'm even less into you. Your
actually-
lifespan must be considerably shorter.
This actually sounds a lot like Cabbage Head from Kids in the Hall, who would just make himself such a repulsive character.
Yes. Yes.
And then cry. It reminds me of your MO with ladies, I'm
Dude,
just saying.
100%.
Hey, man, if crying
You
works.
see the people that have been giving away the tissues in between the South
We're gonna
Hall
need
and the West
somebody
Hall?
can make a
Like
run.
a Gouda
You take him every time because he gets so damn emotional every
Weepy.
time he meets a lady.
Yeah.
Did they hand them out?
Also, I think it's weird too. It's like, what? Who's crying at Comikaze? I mean, really?
There's a lot of tissues being
There's
handed
a
out.
lot of tissues. Like, do you need tissues?
Everybody.
Do you need tissues?
Yeah.
That people
Mostly
people
just
who
for me to
watch
wipe the
people
sweat from my brow.
people who are just watching the Star Wars trailer over and over again.
Yeah.
I got to say, I saw a lot of Yodas. I've seen all like different permutations of Yoda out there, and I see like no Obi-Wan Kenobis whatsoever.
I saw an
That's
Obi-Wan
weird.
today.
How
saw
do
Obi-Wan?
you know? It was just a guy in brown. How do you know?
That was a homeless dude.
Yeah. You can say
It was
Crossover.
outside the convention.
Homeless Obi-Wan.
Halloween is the one day a year where you can say to anybody on the street, nice costume.
That's true.
One day a year.
I'm gonna do that. I mean, not in the. I'm gonna as soon as I leave. Just everybody I run into. Nice costume, man.
costume.
Nice costume. I'm not even gonna show up to the convention tomorrow. I'll be dead. Somebody will stab me. I'm
It
sure.
was found with multiple stab
Someone comes up
wounds.
to Yuri, nice costume. What is this? I'm a raccoon. You have black eyes.
I'm wearing my Tanuki suit today. You got punched in the face twice, didn't you?
I just love that you know what a tanuki is.
Oh, he knows.
Oh, man. The Joker's here.
Yeah, how do you know what a?
Hey, the
let's
joke
talk
buster
about, does
is
everybody-
here. Are we all in trouble now?
Show of hands. Show of hands. Who knows what a
Who
Tanuki
knows what a
suit?
tanuki,
Who knows what
tanuki is? Oh, well, of course we're Comikaze. That's you know what
it's a
the
tainted sample.
it's right. It's true. You know what the definition? If you look that up in a Japanese to English dictionary, you know what a tanuki is in English? A raccoon dog. Have you ever heard of a raccoon dog? I
don't think
they
they
made it up
exist.
for the.
The Japanese love dogs.
Do they make that up so it makes us sound stupid for saying it?
I think they make it up so that it does, so that they don't have to explain that it's this, sort of furry
Cross.
creature with giant balls. Because have you ever seen? I mean,
It's a folk hero.
it's a folk hero, and he's just got huge testicles.
What, don't you know a guy like that from Jersey?
Yeah.
That's Tom Nuki.
Tom Nuki. Also Tommy Big Balls.
Tom,
Tommy
yeah,
Big
yeah,
Balls.
yeah.
Big balls.
Tommy Matarazzo is his real name, but he does okay. He's a longshoreman.
It comes down to what's your favorite Super Mario. Like some people, it's
Wow, that was
some
a
people it's the
weird
first
turn.
one. Some people it's the second
Really?
one.
I always get shit for
I'm
my
thinking about Tanuki
transitions.
suits.
That was the worst.
I'm thinking about Tanuki suits.
Oh, okay, great. Well, we don't. Okay.
Super Mario Bros. 3 is some people's favorite because Mario could fly. Some people like the 3D ones.
I think that's
further on.
cheating.
What do you mean?
I think
Being able to fly?
I think Mario flying is cheating.
Okay, so you're more of a. What about going
Two.
into other
Yeah.
dimensions and pulling up radishes?
Yeah, okay, that's okay though.
Okay,
I like-
so
yeah, I've
Super Mario
sort of
2.
twisted beliefs. It's okay, and yeah. No,
Every time you guys start talking about Nintendo stuff, it just makes
makes you want to.
Yeah, well, because I was an Atari kid. My dad was an Atari guy, so I
He's
never had
45 years
Nintendo.
old. He was a kid at ColecoVision.
Well,
My dad was crushing it playing video. He still crushes it playing video games.
I was an
wow.
I was an Intellivision kid.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean that was my dad, because we went overseas when I was 10, and I think he felt guilty that we were moving to a third world country. He was taking me from the States. We were going to a third world country, and so he bought a Betamax and an Intellivision, and I was the only kid I knew who had either of those things. To explain to you out there in the audience, a Betamax was
We would take two wheels and
used by
stretch
adult
film
Nintendo.
between them.
yeah, what?
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 You're the
I
one who
thought,
said.
I
You're the
thought
one.
Betamax was invented for the adult film industry.
Probably. Most things are, don't they say that?
Most things are.
technology is led by pornography.
We've covered pubes,
driven by-
balls, plush balls, the porn industry,
Porn industry, video
urine,
games,
feces.
There's
What-
really
what are we
nothing
missing?
left.
Dick Tracy.
It sounds like a GTA 5 video game that we
really
we
does.
were both a part
And
of.
I was
which
just going to
is-
say,
isn't
we're
that-
all
Isn't that
all part of that family.
One thing that would happen in a Grand Theft Auto 5 video game would be an attack at the gas station.
Wow.
An attack at the
You
gas
went
station.
deep.
I went deep into your IMDb. This guy has 400 plus credits. Not this guy. This guy has
Between us,
400.
we have 400.
Okay, I've got 27. Okay, my
this guy has
God.
400. This guy has 400 plus credits. So I had to do a deep dive into into his oeuvre, and his oeuvre includes Attack at the Gas Station, which I saw at a Korean film festival in New York.
But you probably saw it in Korean.
I think I saw it in Korean.
Because I did the dub of that.
You did the dub voice.
I did dub voice for one of the guys.
I did a lot of subtitle reading on my viewing of that.
Yeah, I prefer watching subtitled movies with subtitles
rather than dubbed into
rather
English.
than dubbed.
Do you like them in the original?
Yeah. There's just something.
You shouldn't say that out loud, man.
Yeah, I know because I make a lot of my money dubbing things. Like, yeah, that dude.
Oh, so you read the subtitles, huh?
Jeremy, you can take that part out.
Sorry,
Right?
Yuri. Next out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been funny because the dubbing cartoons, dubbing anime is one thing, but then dubbing live action stuff is a whole other thing. And if you ever here's a funny sort of dubbing live action, another Korean film story for those of you who've seen Old Boy or if you have it at home, if you switch on the dub, where that amazing scene where he fights his way through that hallway with the hammer. I play most of the dudes that he beats
Gets
with
killed
the hammer.
with a hammer.
So if you do that and they start to sound alike, it's because like
All
every
of them
guy
are
who
you.
gets hit with a hammer, that's usually me.
Oh.
Yeah.
You did like a solid 6 hours of hammer sounds. I think.
Wow, you just killed 37 brothers.
My balls. And we're back to balls.
Sorry.
Hey,
We
never
Sorry to
left.
trivialize what you do for a living.
No, you should trivialize what I do for think about
it's
what
cool.
I do for a living.
It's cool.
It's not any kind of. Well, somebody said that about acting. It's not any kind of job a man should do. I think, like an actor said that.
Maybe an actor who has done acting already.
yeah.
Had no more
One of
skin in
those
the game.
one of those actors who's retired like 17 times. Oh, I'm retiring from acting. It's a horrible. Oh, you want me to? How much are you going to pay me? Oh, I'm back.
Yes.
And then I'm retiring again.
1 week, 1 year only.
We are going to do another Pete and Pete reunion panel in a couple of hours. If you guys didn't see the one that you're watching right now, this could be another one in a couple of hours because we know
It's a reunion because we don't see each other almost once a month to record a podcast.
Sometimes twice.
And sometimes twice in a month, and sometimes we skip a summer.
I did tell people
I'm
that
sorry.
we live together at our booth today. I did tell people that we live
top
together
bunk, yeah.
and that I have the top bunk. Because
It's true. Well, you have to have the top.
You guys
bunk.
realize
because
that if
I've watched Black Sheep too many times to know the difference between a fat guy
big guy
being
on top bunk.
on the top bunk.
Yeah, that's true.
I got dibs on top. Okay.
You guys realize that if I go on that show too, it'd be a reunion show, even though
from this.
from this. Literally a reunion from an hour ago when I was on the show
haven't seen
with
you
you.
in like 2 hours. You tell that story again about that time that you puked in Japan?
Yuri, you remember that time when people called you urine? I stood with you. I stood with you at
Oh,
that.
I got these cool tissues that were given out to me. Here,
You got give me the good atomic
Oh, good to tell me. You sell my tears.
man.
You guys did a show with Kumail once, didn't you?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. Kumail and Emily were both on this show.
In San Francisco.
Kumail and I were on an animated show together called Trip Tank.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a weird relationship. We only sort of met each other in passing there. He's a big movie buff too, and there's a place in LA called Cinefamily where they do amazing screenings, and
place
he's
is great.
often introduced a lot of films there. But we're in some shorts in Trip Tank where he plays a dick genie. Because we're back to it's not
It's okay.
usually
No,
a-
wait,
it's
it's
not
in
usually a
the-
topic
it's
of
in the
conversation
air.
for me, but you guys have sort of pushed me into it.
It's okay. No, well, we didn't push you into this one. This is on your own, but you
damn
should
it.
continue.
All right.
That's
all the other
fine.
ones, yeah.
Yeah, the other we'll take
Okay,
credit for.
I'll take the bullet for
We're
this one.
accomplices in most of them.
So you're-
90%.
Yeah, but I play a sort of a teenage kid who has trouble with girls.
Discovering himself, maybe?
Discovering himself. Let's just say, and in discovering himself,
Summons the genie.
Summons the dick genie. And played by Kumail, and it's he's hilarious. I mean, I love him anyway, but he's hilarious.
I think I just came up with my new favorite euphemism.
Yes. I think you. I gotta
Mike,
go
I'm
visit
having
I
trouble
gotta go-
sleeping. I need to see the dick
I need
genie.
to see the- I need to visit the dick genie.
Too bad you're on the bottom bunk.
This type of stuff basically alienates itself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we on this podcast we always alienate a brand. Do you have any to do? Yeah. Do you have anything that you?
Yeah, I can hand this one over to Yuri. Happy
Well,
to.
I could start with whoever runs parking at this convention.
Nice.
Oh,
Zing.
Zinger!
It's regional,
that's
but it
collapsed.
hurts.
Yeah.
It's regional, but it's still accurate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then the people who take up 2 spots in those crowded parking lots.
Oh yeah, see, that's
not really
cool.
a brand.
It's okay.
Yeah,
let
we're
me-
looking at like Nabisco or
Nestle, big guys.
Right.
You
you
know.
know, what do you think
Right.
about Lockheed?
Oh man, those guys.
Yeah, Raytheon with their
F those
stupid
guys.
blimp. I guess Yuri does not want to perhaps alienate
okay.
any potential sponsors, so we'll
potential,
just say he
right. That's
doesn't
fine.
hate any of the brands
Okay.
that suck balls that we were talking
Exactly.
about.
Well, Mike,
I'm not afraid. If I can think of somebody who's
I just
really
want
pissed
one.
me off
You
lately.
get one at almost every episode.
Yeah,
I just
today-
need,
Let's circle back to Nestle.
I know
Fuck
today's
Nestle.
brand we hate is Raytheon with their stupid blimp. What a
I didn't even know they
pathetic
had a blimp.
You know what? Like only companies like this have mess ups that it would truly take superheroes to fix. They lost a surveillance blimp over Pennsylvania somewhere.
They lost a.
I think they found it though
Yeah.
recently. Yeah,
And then
they-
they
that
found
sounds
it.
like a joke because a surveillance blimp is an information
Thing to be
gathering
found, yeah.
device.
Thing to find
look at that
things.
thing flying in the air, very slow, like and large.
But how do you lose that? It was like the guy. There was a
found a way.
high speed.
it was
high-speed
raining.
chase.
There was a lot of wind.
With paddling down the Delaware.
There
A
was
fog,
high-speed-
fog came in, and then it was complete. You just couldn't
Right,
see
you just
anything.
couldn't see it. There was no coming back from that. In Los Angeles, the high speed chase, the well televised high speed chases, is sort of a thing.
I'm
we
gonna
do
get
here.
to Mexico. I swear. Never gonna get there.
Helicopters, constant surveillance. They run the guy's plate. They're following the whole way. Where do they think they're going? Do they really think they can escape? And guess what? He did. He is the guy just the other day, but they sort of let him go because they know who he is.
He's got to go home at some point to
Oh
change
yeah,
his
yeah.
life.
They know. Well, you.
Yeah, some people just want to be on TV.
He cashed a check
was
down the
gonna-
street.
When you were saying where is he running, I'm guessing that there's like reality TV casting that he could probably go right to.
That's probably where he was going.
I think.
well,
My
speaking
friend has a friend.
speaking of running
Speaking of reality TV,
Oh,
and
were we-
reality TV, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up. And if you have any plugs, Yuri, you should give us
Yeah.
Thanks
a
for asking,
shout
Jer.
on the internet. on the internet.
Cheer bear.
We
I've gotten awfully familiar for the first time ever hanging out with you guys. I'm
especially
kind
being
of
opposite
embarrassed.
ends of the table.
I
yeah.
like it though.
we did introduce you with your genitals, so
That's true. That's
Oh,
true.
man.
I do have.
You know, it had to go back there, man.
that's how he came up on stage.
Yeah,
yeah,
I guess you're
that's-
right.
I have a podcast. That I know.
Oh.
Called Cast of Characters. It's on Geek Nation. We just started a couple of months ago, but it's all about animation and video games. And it's not. We don't just have voice actor guests on. We have writers, directors, casting people, showrunners.
Us too. We don't just have voice actor guests. We also
Yeah,
have
we have other people
us
too.
too. Yeah, we're a
And
cool
we're
podcast.
not just voice
Right.
actors
Yeah,
and
we're
stuff,
not
so
just
we'd
voice
love
actors.
to come on yours, your
no.
podcast.
You were saying,
No.
Yuri.
I was just saying that's how we, because we knew we couldn't compete with you guys. We had to make it different somehow.
Oh, right. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah. So we had to change
smart.
it up. There it is. So yeah, it's a Cast of Characters. You can find it on iTunes.
I read that you co-wrote a book with your wife.
I did.
Yes.
I did. It's called Voiceover Voice Actor. Thanks for that.
I read
one.
I just read a little bit.
That was underhand. That was nice. You just lobbed that one in. It's called Voiceover Voice Actor. What it's like behind the mic, and it came from people asking us all the time. Hey, how do I get into voiceover? Or, hey, how do I do what you do? Or hey, what can I do? And so after a while, it got hard, sort of saying the same things over and over again. So we finally put it into a book, and it's
Buy this.
Yeah, buy this. Yeah,
I have
that's- it's
5
much-
questions,
The question has gotten
Yuri.
much
Here's
easier
a
to
book.
answer.
Here you go.
And it's a lot cheaper than taking me out to lunch. So we have it at the
Because he
show
eats
today.
like a lot of food.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
a
You're like
lot.
2 entrees, a couple apps, a salad.
Easily.
Dessert.
And you can always stalk me on Twitter. I'm easily stalked on Twitter. It's just at Yuri Lowenthal.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
Thank
you
you
for being
very
here.
much.
And
Yeah.
thank all of
Yeah.
you for being
Thank
here.
you
Thanks
guys for coming.
to Comikaze for having us, and we apologize to the parking people. Also, all of you that came out, come see us
I
at
don't.
booth 1714. We have some merch and some good
1719.
stuff for the listener. Log into our website at Danny and Mike.
Go
you can buy a
visit
t-shirt
them,
there.
then walk across the street because it's sort of like a street.
Yeah. Food vendor
visit
street.
us. I've talked about some of you have been there. I recognize some of you. And thanks for coming by if you have, and if you haven't, come on by.
So there's still a chance to come by, is what we're saying.
There's still a chance to, right? Please, for the love of God, come.
Yay! Thanks, guys.
The Adventures of Danny and Mike stars Danny Tamborelli and Michael C. Morona. The show is produced by Jeremy Balin and Marianne Ways. This podcast is part of the Feral Audio Podcasting Collective and can be found on their website at feralaudio.com. For more information on the guys, visit our website at dannyandmike.com. Also, look us up on Twitter at Danny and Mike with the and spelled out, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Adventures of Danny and Mike. Thanks for listening.
Feral Audio.